Creating your own packages and sending them out to people is pretty neat, but having to wait in line at the post office for what seems like forever is not so neat. Fortunately, I have a solution for you. I'm going to show you how to prepare a package for shipping right at home. So then all you need to do is just drop it in a mailbox when you're done and you never have to go to the post office.
Okay, so of course what you're going to want to do first is get your item. As you can see on the left I've got a CD and on the right I've got a big textbook. And you want to either choose a regular envelope or a padded envelope depending on your needs here. I would suggest for both of these particular items that you use a padded envelope, especially for the book on the right because it is heavy. If you are sending a different type of package, such as, well, for example, I used to do a lot of beauty swaps online. I used to send out things like cosmetic items and perfumes. Something like that, you might want to wrap in bubble wrap and use a padded envelope. However, if you don't have access to padded envelopes for whatever reason, I suppose you could just take some bubble wrap and tape it around your item and then put it in a regular unpadded envelope. Now, obviously, there's going to be a difference in weight between these two items here, and once these are inside whatever envelope we wish, we are going to weigh it on our scale. Okay, so once you've got your item inside the envelope, you've prepared your package, you've put any bubble wrap in there if you feel like you need it, what you want to do, of course, is to weigh your package. Now, as you can see here, I've got two possible scales that you can use. This one right here that I've got on the left, I got from Staples. I think I paid anywhere between $20 and $25. And this one only measures up to 2 pounds. And this one right here on the right, this is a kitchen scale. And as you can see, the one on the left is, I suppose you would say analog. And the one on the right is digital. So this one on the right here I prefer. It's easier to read. I'm not really sure of the usual price, but I got it for less than $18. I ordered it on Sears.com and picked it up at my local Sears store, and I actually ended up getting it for free because I had a ton of Shop Your Way rewards points that you could use either at Sears or Kmart, which I think is kind of cool. This one here measures up to 12 pounds, so I guess I have no need for my Dymo scale anymore, sorry. But just for the purposes of this video here, I will show you how to use both when measuring your item. Okay, so here's our mechanical scale, our Dymo scale, and remember this one only measures up to 2 pounds. So let's see what happens here when I put our CD on it to weigh. By the way, for both of these packages, I just used unpadded envelopes just because I felt like it, but I would suggest using a padded one when you are shipping it out. So as you can see, that yellow thing there which says the weight, it moved down a little bit. Let's see what happens when I put our big book on there. So let's take this thing off. By the way, this particular scale here, I dropped it once, so it's not 100% accurate anymore, unfortunately. So again, that's another reason why I prefer to use my other scale. But let's just see what happens. We put this big textbook on here. Ooh, well, it's falling. Ugh. Okay, hold on. Oh, hey. Goes all the way down to 2 pounds, but we know that it weighs more than that. Yeah, so for something like this, we definitely want to use our other scale because it has much larger capacity. I know that we can't see exactly what's going on as a close-up here because unfortunately this camera of mine does not like to focus. So let me just take a still shot and show you what that looks like up close when you're measuring. So yeah, with that close-up with the CD measurement, you could see that it measured at to 3 ounces. Now, in addition to measuring out the amount in ounces with this scale, it also has some both first class and express mail shipping rates. Oh yeah, and it also has priority. But I don't like to use these because I find that these numbers by now are probably outdated. And another thing is that when you are preparing your shipping label online, which I'll show you how to do later, they calculate the costs for you depending on the weight of your package. So I just disregard those values that it has right there. Okay, so as you can see, now we've got our digital scale here. Even though this one is primarily used to measure food, I find that it works just fine for packages that I'm trying to send out. So of course, what we do to turn it on is, well, press this on-off button. So what it's going to do here is going to say 0.00 ounces. You could change the units if you want to. It also does pounds, grams, kilograms, but for this we want to use ounces. By the way, sometimes it will kind of change to maybe a negative value, but all you have to do to clear it out if you want it to go back to 00 is press this button right here. So let's once again measure our two items, see if it's the same as with our other scale that we were using. Right here we've got our CD. This one comes out to 2.35 ounces over here, which is kind of interesting because on our other one it was 3 ounces. So let's just take this off and let's try, yeah, see, changed back. So let's try this huge book we got right here. Okay, so as you can see, it hides the entire panel, so we're gonna have to do a little bit of peeking under here. Might have to push your book out of the way just a tad. Okay, I don't know if you can see that. I think I need to take a still photo to show you just what is under there. Okay, so you already put your item inside the proper envelope. You measured out the package on your scale. Now what we need to do is, using the information regarding the weight, you want to make your shipping label. You want to know how much you'll need to pay for your package to ship according to not just the weight but also the address, because sometimes the address does make a difference. Now as you can see here, I've actually made a still shot of the screen here because unfortunately on the PayPal website, when you are able to ship out packages, you can't edit your name, you can only edit your address. So I blurred out my name and used a fake address for security reasons. And right here I'm about to put in the information for the recipient, put in their name and address, and then I'll be able to scroll down to the bottom of the page, and so we can put in information regarding shipping method as well as the weight of our package. Okay, so now we are ready to select our shipment information now that we have input the proper information for our recipient. And here it gives you the option to select a carrier. Now, if I were to click choose a different carrier, it would present to me either USPS or UPS. However, I always use USPS because I find that it is pretty reliable and it is much cheaper than UPS. As for service type here, there are a few options. I typically like to use the first class mail parcel because it is inexpensive. However, this will only work if your item weighs 13 ounces or less. And if your item weighs more than that, you will need to select the parcel select non-pre-sort. However, the two items that we measured before, the CD and the book, those both qualify for media mail. So that would be an option for what we use today. However, if you wanted to send something different, such as perhaps maybe you want to, I guess, send somebody maybe a stuffed animal or something, you would have to select either first class or parcel select, depending on the weight of it. Or you could select priority mail or priority mail express. However, because these two methods are much faster and they are much more expensive, so I would only suggest choosing either of these two if your package is rather time sensitive. To be honest, I do not really know the difference between these two methods because I have never used them before. So for now, let's select the first class mail parcel and see if we can use this for our CD. Now let's select our package size. For this, we're going to select package thick envelope, but if we were using a stuffed animal we mentioned before, you'd have to select large package. Now our packaging here is not irregular or unusual. Let's put in the weight. We've got 0 pounds, and it was 2.35 ounces, but we'll just put in 2 ounces here. Now if it's 2.5 or more, you might want to round up to 3 ounces, but here we're rounding down. So for shipment options, we have to select the mailing date. Today is the 29th, but it is a Sunday, which of course is not a business operation day for the postal service. So let's select the 30th. Now if you were using eBay and I believe Amazon, they automatically select the next business day for this, but because PayPal does not, we have to do it manually. And give you free delivery confirmation, which is kind of nice because the post office does no such thing. Select signature confirmation if you want to. You could also display the postal value on your label. Insurance, you could do any of those things if you so choose, but we're just going to leave that blank and for now select continue.
Okay, so as you can see over here, $1.69 will be deducted from my account as the fee for sending out this package, the first class parcel here at a 2-ounce weight. And it looks like over here the source of my funds is going to be an instant transfer from my bank account, and the backup funding source is going to be my credit card. So if I wanted to go through this order, I would select pay and continue. And then what this would do is once I hit that button, it would send me to a screen where I get to print out my shipping label. And then once you do that, you will be able to cut it out and then put it right on the envelope of your package right in the front. Make sure that by this point your package is all sealed up, put on all that tape you need. But for now, we're just going to go back so that we can see how much it would cost if we were to ship something else using a different method. Okay, so now let's see if we can experiment with this using the weight of our book instead. Now let's see if we can select parcel, select non-pre-sort for this particular item. Again, package thick envelope should be sufficient. Now the weight of our package, if you remember, was 44.20 ounces. And when converted to pounds, according to our scale, said 2.762 pounds. Now, I did the calculations myself, and it wasn't exactly 2.762 pounds when I did the math. However, it was very, very close. And for the purposes of sending out our package, we're going to select 2 pounds, 12 ounces, because that is the closest that we can get for this purpose right here. And again, we're just going to select we want to send it out on the next business postal day. We don't have to select any of these things here. Let's continue. Okay, so as you can see here, because our package, our second one, the book, is significantly larger and heavier, we have to pay $8.98 if we wanted to select parcel select, and well, let's just say ain't nobody got time for that. So for something like this, I think it would be a much better idea to select the media mail. Let's see if we can see the price of that. Let's go back over here, shall we? Okay, so right now we are going to see how much it would cost to ship our large book were we to select media mail rather than their parcel select, whatever that is. So again, we're going to select the package size. Obviously the weight stays the same. Let's continue right here. Oh, much better over here. Okay, so as you can see, when we selected the media mail over here for our book, it does make us pay 20 cents for delivery confirmation, but when you end up paying only $3.63, well, I think that's a pretty good deal. So, as you can see, there was definitely a huge savings for sending out our large book with the media mail rate as opposed to our parcel select rate. Let's just go back one last time and see with our CD if media mail makes much of a difference over using first class mail. Okay, so I just skipped over to this page because I figured by now you already know how to select the different shipping methods. So as you can see here, for our little 2-ounce package with the media mail, it actually costs more than with the first class. First class cost $1.69 for 2 ounces, but media mail, you have to pay delivery confirmation, and the total shipping cost is going to be $2.73. So I would highly suggest that, especially when you are first starting to send out packages, as opposed to maybe if you're more experienced in always mailing out things, always check different shipping methods to make sure that you are getting the best value. Only if it is something that is especially time sensitive would I consider paying more, because for the most part it really is just not necessary. Okay, so the truth is that even when I was showing you guys how to make the proper shipping label, I never actually printed one out because, well, I don't feel like paying for something that I'm not actually going to mail out because, well, I guess I have nobody to mail anything to. But yeah, your shipping label should look more or less like this one over here. Now this is from a package that I had received quite a while ago, but when you make it online, it will have all of the same information on here, such as the return address and the recipient address. It has a barcode here that they use over at the post office, and also indicates what method of shipment that they used, and might even say how much it cost, as was an option when we had selected it online. So even though this over here, it uses an actual label, you don't need to do that at all. You can actually just use a regular paper and tape it on like I always do. So then the last step that you have to do after making your label is, just tape it onto your package, and then make sure, of course, that your package is secure at this point, and then you just need to drop it into a mailbox. So you don't even have to go to the post office at all. So you just saved yourself a lot of time. Thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something. Bye!